The Lakers are one win away from a championship. Bam Boylan, Joe Money McCarr. Let's get stuck into it. Nick, the Lakers, how'd they get it done?
Well, it was almost a similar storyline to start for the Lakers to begin the game with early turnover problems. We thought, here we go again for LA. 7 turnovers in the first quarter after 20 turnovers in the last game. But things really slowed down for them on both ends. I guess they started to take control of the game, and Anthony Davis was just the man right towards the end of the game. A little bit sort of a bit of a roller coaster first half for him. He started the first quarter well, but faded out of the game. But like LeBron, they both Lakers stars came to play in the second half. And Davis was massive on both ends, right to close that game. Had the massive block on Jimmy Butler late. Hit a couple of threes as well to finish with 22 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, and 4 swats. A massive game for out there who looks dare I say it, close to a finals MVP performance if the Lakers can get things done in the next game. And speaking of the Lakers stars, LeBron really struggled early. That was one thing I know on Twitter. There was dialogue saying that, this is probably the first time they've seen LeBron, sort of Father Time starting to catch up with LeBron. But I'm not sure if LeBron checked his phone at halftime and saw those tweets. But he roared back into things in the second half after he only had 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting early and 5 turnovers in the first half. He bounced back for 28 points, 12 boards and 8 assists and only 1 turnover in that second half. And that was really the difference for LA because early on, I think, both the stars weren't really working, but the Lakers supplementary players really helped keep things close. They had some really good 3-point shooting, great games from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Danny Green, who both struggled. We've spoken at length about how those two players haven't really been shooting the ball that well the last few games. But KCP, 15 points tonight. Danny Green had 10. They were massive. And the Lakers were sitting pretty at halftime with a slim lead. But with both his stars struggling, that's a good place for LA to be. But, the Lakers bench solidified things a little bit. We saw a great performance from Rajon Rondo, who, didn't have a massive scoring game, but he's, again, one of those players who doesn't need to score a lot of the basketball. Only had his first points late in that fourth quarter with a nice little cut to the rim, but he had 7 boards and 5 assists and really helped control the Lakers' tempo, which is something that I thought they really struggled with early. And their offensive execution, their defensive execution down the stretch, they looked like they took better shots, smarter shots than the Heat. And this is what championship teams do, and they're just one win away from getting their hands on a trophy.
Joe, what went wrong for the Heat?
For the Heat tonight, it started with bad shot selection, as Nick just mentioned. You see a lot of times their shooters try to get open looks, but it seems like tonight, even if the looks weren't quite open, they try to force them, maybe work their way into a foul, which we know, especially at this point in the finals, you always can't rely on that. The fact that, I'm going to take a bad shot and pray that the ref bails me out and gives me 2 or 3 free throws given the shot. So from that end of the floor, it was just an overall struggle. I wouldn't say it was like a bad shooting night, but there definitely were some inconsistencies with Kendrick Nunn shooting 2 of 11 from the field, Jay Crowder shooting 2 of 7 from the field. And besides that, just a lot of difficulties on the defensive end in this one. We saw they were giving up a lot of easy looks, and even though the Lakers weren't always making them pay, as Nick touched on, towards the end, that's when you saw guys like KCP really starting to percolate, really starting to heat up, and that really spelled the beginning of the end for the Heat in this game.
2 final questions for both of you. Nick B, do we have, you mentioned it before, Anthony Davis Finals MVP? Make your prediction there. And does the series end in Game 5?
Barring a miracle, if Goran Dragic can come back onto the court, I think we see this one wrap up in 5, guys.
Joe, how about you?
I'm going to say 5 also. I'm going to say Davis as Finals MVP, unless Jimmy Butler and his big face coffee can somehow enlighten the Heat to another victory.
Yeah, they're going to need some special stuff inside that coffee for sure.
You have to remember that Hero is more than a sandwich. That's the main thing.
That is true. Hopefully we can see a couple of snarls from him and get some more memes on the internet. We all need memes in this day and age. Nice one, Joe. Not too bad. We've got to get the teeth going a little bit, mate. But we'll be back for Game 5. We'll see if it's all over then. These guys hopefully will be making more faces because they're damn cute. I'm not as cute, but stay tuned for Game 5, guys.